Well, we've now moved into what we like to call the freakishly cold part of winter. This is not the devilishly cold part. Freakishly cold is about 25 below. That's what we're at right now. Freakishly cold is like 25 below, 30 below. Once you hit 40 below, that's devilishly cold. We're not there yet, but it is cold. The ducks are here because they think I'm going to give them more snacks. They heard me open the door when I came out, and they came running. The chickens, I think, are mostly... Well, there's a chicken. It depends. There's chickens everywhere. There's like a random chicken here and there. So, hey, Saruman, you're getting old, man. Hi, Saruman. He doesn't like me. He's running away from me. I was going to pet him. He didn't want me to pet him. Anyway, so we are in that freakishly cold section of winter. It's not going to warm up till spring. It's not my favorite thing, but what can you do? One of the questions I was asked is, do the chickens come out in the winter? Yeah. There's chickens over there. Chickens over here. Someone making a screeching sound. There's chickens over here. There's chicken in the corner. There's chicken in the corner. There's the chicken I haven't given a name to yet over by the ramp. Someone's making another screeching sound from inside the barn. Someone's in there making noise. It's so icy. So last night it got really cold. But before it got really cold, we had a different problem. And that was that it was sleeting. And then it snowed when it got colder. So now... Oh, don't want to fall. Now we have this fine layer. Turkey's in here. I'm under chickens. A couple of chickens up here. A couple of chickens above me, which is great. There's turkey right here. Ow. I got hit in the head with a turkey wing. Yeah, we got turkey. There's a goat. There's a goat there. Yeah. Everyone's good. Oh, another chicken. They kind of appear out of the woodwork. Hi. I didn't know there were so many of you up there. Okay. They kind of just appear out of the woodwork when you're walking around because... There's another one. They kind of just start showing up because there's a couple more over here. Because they think you might have snacks. Even when you absolutely don't have snacks, they're not sure you don't have snacks. Therefore, they have to check and see if you might have snacks. Oh, a couple more have shown up. And the ducks have come this way. You don't know, I might have snacks. But yeah, they go out all winter long. They do not have to go out. Now, there's another chicken in the pen. And there wasn't another chicken in the pen, but now there is. There's a white chicken in the pen. Duck, 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 duck. There's a chicken over here, and there's a chicken on the coop now, on the quail coop. And yes, there's quail in there in the winter. Yeah, there's quail in there. So, there's another chicken. I swear, there's no chicken, and there's another chicken. I swear, there's no chickens, and then all of a sudden you're like, where are all these chickens coming from? And they just start appearing. Oh, over here. I didn't even see you guys. So, yeah, we're over here as well. We're over here doing chicken stuff. Yeah, oh, and there's some under the deck. So, they kind of just start appearing. All right, so yes, the chickens come out all winter long. They have fun, okay? They have a good time. They don't mind the wind. They just stay out of it. You know, they're smarter than we are. They get out of the wind. So, yes, they do very well in the winter. Okay, so that was one of the questions I got. They come out all winter long. Hello, gentle buns. Hello. Yeah, they come out all winter long, and these guys are fine as well. Everyone's doing well. The rabbits do better in the winter than they do in the summer. I'm going to be honest. In the summer, It's the heat that'll get them. The heat can take them out. The heat can seriously do damage to your rabbits. Your rabbits are pretty much fine outside if they're dry, out of the wind, and they have been out all fall. They'll probably be fine all winter. You can't take a rabbit that's lived inside and put it outside now, right? But you can take a rabbit that's been outside all summer and has been outside all fall and is acclimated to the temperatures and leave him out as long as he's protected from the wind, from the snow, from the moisture so they don't get wet, and they have a proper coat. And yes, even Rexes get a proper coat. They have gotten a proper coat. They're really good. So the actual question I was going to answer today is actually about the quail that we were just over by. Somebody asked, why do people have quail? Why do they have quail? They seem like just tiny little bits of nonsense that you don't really need. So let's talk about quail and why I think. Now, I always suggest people start with chickens, but if you don't have the space for chickens or your area doesn't allow you to have chickens, try quail. Also try quail if you like quail eggs. But let's talk about why quail are pretty darn good. I've just got to walk carefully because this is icy under the snow. Just got to watch your step. Kind of do the penguin walk. If you live in a northern climate, you know all about the penguin walk. You walk like a penguin so you don't slip and fall on your butt. Let's talk about quail. So, quail, yeah, they're little, but they're a powerhouse. They bring a little of everything. So, quail are usable for meat and for their eggs. Anyone who's ever had a quail egg knows that they're absolute perfection. They're decadent. They're divine. Now, I like using quail eggs to glaze my buns. Have you ever been glazing a bun and cracked a regular egg and have a lot of egg left over and you have to decide what to do with it? You have to do that with quail eggs. One little quail egg, boom, used up on the batch of buns. So that's one of the things I use them for. Okay, that's one of the things I do. So their meat is tender. They're a game bird, so it is. Think of it a little bit like, kind of like turkey. Not exactly like turkey, but kinda. It's not turkey, but it's a game bird. Quail are game birds, so they're not exactly like chicken. They're closer to a turkey, but they are their own unique flavor, right? So they're not bad. Yes, you need more quail to feed a family than you do chickens, but the thing about quail is they don't take very long to incubate. Oh, little tiny pitter-patter feet. There have been rabbits running around over here. Not mine. Wild rabbits. Little tiny pitter-patter feet. Anyway. So, yeah, you need more quail. But quail don't take long to incubate. Literally, so chicken eggs take about 21 days, thereabouts, to hatch. Okay, so quail take about 21 days. Not quail, chickens. And quail only take about 17 to 19. Coturnix quail. Some quail take longer. Coturnix quail, which is what most backyard keepers have, because they're the most efficient and the ones that make sense. They're also fairly cheap. So you can get even female quail for typically under $20 per bird. Sometimes you can get them even cheaper. Like when I sell quail chicks, baby quails, when I sell the babies, poults, when I sell them for under $5 each, right? They're cheap. It depends on the year, but between $3 and $5 each. It's cheap. They're cheap. And they grow. So after 3 weeks, they don't need a heat plate anymore. They can come out of the brooder. At 6 weeks, they are big. And by 6 to 8 weeks, they'll be laying eggs. So between 6 and 8 weeks, they'll be laying eggs. Okay? Between 6 and 8. I'm just looking here. We got prints that are not from my dog. And the cold is causing my camera to flip, by the way. We got prints that are not from my dogs. My dogs have bigger feet. Going this way. I just want to see where they went. Okay. Where are we going? Across this way. And back across the street. Okay. I think that was probably a coyote that was just on this side of the road. Because, yeah, then it goes across the street. Crosses right here. Because there's no prints on this side. Their prints go that way. The coyotes, by the way, live in there. And that's okay, as long as they stay in there. Vodka just, puts the beat on them when they get too close. So, I'm assuming they didn't come in because Vodka was probably parked. Oh, yeah. I can see where Vodka's been parked. You can see he's definitely barking and weaving. So you can see he's been here and then weaving over here with the tracks. Right? You can see the tracks from the dogs. They're definitely Vodka's because he's got really big feet. Also, there's a bunch of duck prints. So the ducks have been up here with Vodka. They like Vodka. Anyway, quail reach full maturity in 8 weeks. That means they're laying eggs. So real quick turnaround. You're not waiting months like you are with chickens. Real quick turnaround. And you can also process them for meat at the same time. So as soon as you know who your boys are, right? You can process the boys, except for the couple of boys you need for the next generation. But you process the boys and you keep the girls for eggs. And then you have eating eggs and hatching eggs and the next crop of boys. Because you hatch them and it's a cycle. We all know the cycle. So they are really, really perfect. They don't take much space. They don't eat much. I mean, they're little, so they still need to eat. Like you buy a good turkey feed. I buy turkey starter because it's already smashed up so they eat it easier because they can't eat whole pellets because they're little birds. But I just buy turkey starter. And they do really... Hi. You weren't there before. Chicken. Like I said, chickens show up. So they are really efficient little powerhouses. They are definitely worth it on your farm. They also handle all types of weather really well. So most of our quail are up in the house part now, so I'm not going to open it because I don't want them to get cold. But if I stick my hand in there, it's actually really warm. And I only open it when I have to for food and water, even though I don't even put food and water in the top. I put it in the bottom. But I only open the top when I have to, right? So one of them is down right now having some water. One of them's down right now having some water, right? One of them is down. The other one is not. The other ones are not. Other one. We have more than two. But the other one's not. The other ones are not down. They only come down when they have to. There's another chicken. This chicken wasn't here earlier. They just kind of... And that chicken, the chicken who was down in the corner, is now sitting on the board. Because, chickens, man. Anyway, that's why you should have quail. Because they're absolutely fantastic when it comes to making sure that your family is fed. So they're also more permitted. Like in a lot of areas, you do not need a permit at all to have the quail. And you might need a permit or you might need to live in a specific area to have chickens. So for people who can't have chickens, quail are another option. Also, I like their sounds. If you don't like the cock-a-doodle-doos of chickens, you might like the quieter sounds of quail. They're not silent, but one, your neighbors will probably mistake their sounds for wild birds. And two, their sounds are kind of cool. I like them, that warble. But those are just a few of the reasons you might want to try out quail. So yeah, we don't have them for no reason. We breed them, okay, and eat their eggs. I love their eggs. I love their eggs in baking. Try them. But their eggs are fantastic. Okay, perfect. Love their eggs. So we use their eggs and I hatch and sell the babies, and obviously I keep for our next generation so we don't run out of quail. So we do a lot of that. But a lot of people will also eat the bird, and we sell like starter flocks. So I'll grow them out to about 4 to 5 weeks old, and then I'll sell them as a group. So once I can identify the boys and the girls, I'll sell starter groups, right? 2 roosters, 8 hens kind of thing. And I charge a pretty penny for that, but I mean, it's better than someone ending up with all boys, because you can't really tell when they're babies until they start to grow. So they start to feather out. So I will sell starter flocks because it's fun. I also sell groups of all boys for people who are looking to process them at home. I don't sell meat. I don't do that. I have no reason to do that. I'm not wading into that mess. Anyway, those are just a few of the reasons you should have quail on your farm. If you're interested, give it a shot. Coturnix quail are the most common, and they're the cheapest. And they're really friendly, and they're pretty calm, actually. They're a little bit flighty, but they're pretty calm. Anyway, that's the answer to that. And I'm getting real cold. My cheeks are getting real red. So I'm going to get out of the wind and get out of the icy cold and go back inside. We'll see you tomorrow.